Assalamu alaikum, students. So today we will study element 3.6 again, the management of change. So how we will manage the change in our projects or in our company. So we will study this in this 3.6 topics. The impacts of change. Change includes changes to work process, equipment, practices, and construction work, temporary works. So the changes includes the work process. The work process may be changed in your project or in your organizations. Equipments may be changed. Practices of work may be changed. In construction work, temporary works. The temporary works include short-term buildings, projects, building maintenance, renovations work, demolition work, excavations. So when you are working as a projects or when you are working as a regular work, and maybe there will be a change, there will be a new work. So that new work, how you will manage that one, because you already prepare risk assessments in other things, system of works for your current work, but for that new work you are not ready. So what you will do, what techniques you will use that you will manage that new work in your current work or in your current organizations. Okay, so how you will manage that new works, so we will study about that. So mitigating the impact of change, how we will mitigate or how we will control that new change or new works in our current works. Key management principle, the principle that is used for this, we need risk assessment of the work itself and its impacts on the workplace. We need to manage the risk. We need to prepare risk assessment for the new work. Okay, the new works which will come in our projects, we need to prepare the risk assessment for that. Then we need proper communication and cooperation between all the affected parties. The quality communication and quality cooperation between the workers, between all the parties. We need to communicate everything, communicate the new hazards, to communicate the new measures to each other, and even they need cooperation for this new work with each other. Then all the workers should be competent for this new work, for this new change work, and the manager should be competent. And segregation of the area, in which area we are doing this new work, we need to segregate that area. We need proper barricading, we need fencing, we need to isolate that area from the existing work, and we need proper emergency procedures in the impact of the work on existing emergency arrangements for this new work, because maybe we already prepare the emergency procedure for the current or existing works, but for this new work we need further, we need another emergency procedures because there may be new hazards. Okay, so for this new work we need proper welfare provisions, we need more toilets because maybe the worker will be more, the staff will be more. For that new workers, for that new additional staffs, we need proper toilet system, new toilet system in our organization. We need to increase the dining hall, we need to increase the offices, we need to provide more first aid provisions in our organizations, we need rest areas to increase the rest areas. So we need to increase these welfare provisions also. Okay, then element 3.7, safe system of work. Safe system of work, what is safe system of work? Introduction to safe system of work, this is a formal recorded procedures, and in this formal recorded procedure we will do the systematic examination of the work, and we will identify the hazards in our workplace, in our activities, and then we will prepare safe methods to control that hazards, to eliminate the hazards in our workplace, to avoid the accident in our workplace. To be effective, the safe system, the SSW, the safe system of work, must bring together these four things. The words PEME, PEM. We are using the words PEM, PEME, PEM. People, equipment, material, and environments. When we will consider these four things, when we are preparing safe system of work in a workplace, if we will consider the worker, the people, for whom we are preparing this safe system of work, that means the worker should be competent. The worker should know the activity to how to do the work. So the worker should have the technical knowledge for doing the work. Then the equipment which will be used by these workers, that equipment should be standardized equipment. The safety standards, the safety equipment, the safety switches should be installed on that equipment. There will be no risk for the worker from that equipment. Then the materials which are used by these workers or by these people, that should be risk-free for the worker. There will be no hazards for the workers. The material should be controlled in a standard manner, and the procedures which we are using for that material, that should be understandable by these people or by these workers. Then environment, in which environment these people are doing these activities, that environment should be suitable or should be adequate for these workers. There will be good space, lighting, temperature that should be suitable for the workers. So if we will focus for these four things: people, equipment, material, and environment, so we will prepare the safe system of work in a good manner. Because these four things which will interact during the safe system of work, because the workers, the people or the worker will use the equipments, they will use the materials, and they will do the work in environments. So if we will focus these four things, so we will prepare the safe system of work in our organizations. In that safe system of work, all the worker will be happy, and all the worker will be doing the work in a safe manner. So in this way, we will create a safe system of work or a safe work method. Then the safe system of work, we need to link the risk assessment to the safe system of work, because the risk assessment is a part of the safe system of work. In the risk assessment, what is the risk assessment? We will identify the hazards and we will control all those hazards. That is a risk assessment. And this safe system of work should be documented, and the standards which will be used in this safe system of work, they should be clear to all the workers. And this safe system of work should be prepared by a competent person, and that competent person should take help from the workers, because the workers have a lot of practical knowledge about that the work they are doing. So the competent person should need to take information or help from the workers. And in some organization, in some situation, this is a legal required, this safe system of work, because the employer is responsible to prepare this safe system of work, and the worker responsibility to follow the safe system of work. Okay. Then how we will prepare or how we will develop the safe system of work? We are using the SREDIM word for this safe system of work. SREDIM, SREDIM. For the safe system of work, we need First, for every activity, for every job, when we are preparing the SAP system of work, first of all, we need to select the task. And when select the task, after that, we should to record steps or stages from that of that task. We need to analyze. We need to bring steps or stages of that task, small steps or small stages. And evaluate risk associated with the each steps. And we need to evaluate each steps, and we need to identify the risk. And according to that risk, we will also identify the control measures which need for that risk. D, develop safe working methods to do the work in a safe manner. I implement safe working methods. The safe working method which we made, we need to implement that in a workplace and monitor to ensure it is effective. We need to monitor, we need to check that the safe system of work we made for the task that is effective or not. If that is not effective, we need to rectify, we need to make that effective. Then introducing controls and formulating procedures for controlling the risk. When we introducing control or procedures to control the risk or hazards, that is a difficult stage. We need consultation and engagement helps gain buy-in from the workers during preparing controls or procedures. We need to consult with workers. We need to take advice from the workers because the workers know the practicals, practices, the practicals measure, the practical procedures, because the workers are those who already work on that hazards or on that activities. And we need to allow concerns to be raised and addressed during development. When we are preparing these controls or formulating procedures for controlling the hazards, we need to allow the concerns or the issues that should be raised during this preparing or during the stages of development. Then introduction and instruction and training. This also a safe system of work. Information, instruction, training, and supervision should be needed. And may need detailed training in the safe system of work. In the safe system of work, we need to properly train the workers on that safe system of work, because the training is the part of the safe system of work. And in permission, instruction, these all are safe system of work. These all are part of the safe system of work. Then monitoring the system must monitor to ensure safe system of work, SSW safe system of work is being applied correctly. Safe system of work is as safe as was intended. We need to check the safe system of work for the work which we prepare, the procedure or the safe system of work that is correct. We need to apply if that is correct or not. And what the objective, the intended objective we want from the safe system of work, we need to achieve that objective. We should to monitor. The HEC team should to monitor. The management team should to monitor that the safe system of work that is correctly applied or not. And what the objective we needed from that safe system of work, we need to achieve that objective. Element 3.8 permit to work system in a projects or in organizations, or this is a formal documents, and we are using this permit to work system. Permit mean the permissions for the work in a workplace. And this permit to work system, we need in some circumstances, and that is mandatory. So how you will define the permit to work system? This is a formal documented safety procedures forming part of a safe system of work. This permit to work system is the part of the safe system of work because this is a control measure. Because from this permit, we will control the high risk activities. Because without the permit, nobody will be allowed in the workplace. This is a safe system of work. This is a part of safe system of work. And we will control the workers, we will control the activities from this permit to work system. And this is a formal document. There is hard work permit, high voltage electrical system confined space entry permit, operational pipelines permit, excavation and near buried services. We need to take permit for excavation, that is near buried services. Then complex machinery permit, night work permit, cold work permit, high voltage lifting permits, scaffolding permits, electrical permits, different types of permits available. That's depend upon the projects or depend upon the client requirements. Okay. When we will prepare the permits or when we will implement the permit in a workplace, the first thing which is needed, the issue of permit, pre-job checks. When the permit, we issue the permits, we need to check the job before issuing the permits. We need to check the workplace before giving the permit or before issuing the permit. So we need to check description of the work to be carried out. What work we will carry out in the workplace, we need to check before issuing the permits. Physically, we need to check. The area authority, the issuer, the authority who is giving the permit, he need to check the workplace before issuing the permit. In description of the plant in locations, the plant in location that will be described to which place, to which plant, or to which area they want to work. So that area in that plant should be checked the issuer. There will be no hazards for the work because he is the authority. When he will permit, the receivers or the worker will go to that area and they will do the work. And the permit identify the hazards and assess risk. The hazard should be identified and the risk should be controlled. The hazard should be controlled. Identification of controls, additional permits, that's hard work, isolation of services, PPE, personal protective equipment, emergency procedures should be available with the permit to works. So on the permits, if we have additional permits, for example, if we have excavation permits and that we have the hard work permits, so that should be identified. And isolation of services. For example, if you are working on electrical system, so we will mention the isolations of services, and that should be, if there is any additional forms, that should be available with the permit to work system. And practically the LOTO system, lockout tagout system should be implemented in the workplace. Or if we will isolate the energized system, so for that we need proper system, proper isolation system that is also according to the requirements of the projects or requirements of the client or of the workplace. And then we will also mention the personal protective equipment on the permit, that what PPE, personal protective equipment, will be used by the workers. Because in some organization like oil and gas, they need respiratory system, in H2S area, hydrogen sulfide area, because the hydrogen sulfide is a toxic gas. So that should be mentioned. And then we will attach the emergency procedure to every permit to work system, because the emergency can be happen every time. So how we will protect our worker from that emergency? Because the emergency we don't know. Every control measure maybe we will take, but maybe there will be emergency. So how we will protect our workers from that emergency? And we also know what type of emergency can be happen during our work or during our activity. Then the receiver, the handover of permit received. This person should be competent and authorized person from the client, from the company, and he know about the issues, and he should to know about the permit to work system. He should be knowledgeable, and when he receive the permit, that permit should be signed by the workers, and after the signs there should be a toolbox talk, TBT, toolbox talk to the workers. TBT, what is TBT? This receiver or the receipt person, he should to tell the worker about the work activities, the hazards in that work activities, and the control measures in that work activities. After this, worker can now start. When the worker sign, after that, they can start the work, and the plant or the work area that is now under the control of the workers. Then clearance, return to services. Workers signed to say they have left the workplace in safe condition, work is complete, and operations can resume. When the worker finished the work, they will sign that we finished the work, and they will do the housekeeping, everything's, and after that they will resume everything's, because the work complete, and they told that the work now is complete. So after that, what they will do, the permit will be cancelled. How they will cancel the permit? Authorized person accept plant back and can remove isolations, etc. Cancel permits. The permit receiver, the permit issuer, he will cancel the permit. He will resume if there is any isolations or if there is any system shut during the work. He will resume that and he will cancel the permit. Plant is now returned to the control of the sites. So the plant now is under the area authority. The person who is the owner of that area, the work area or the plant is under in the authority of that person. So after permit to work PTW, the next topic is element 3.9, emergency procedures in first aid. The need for emergency procedure. Why we need emergency procedure? Because despite all the precautions you take, things can still go wrong. You take all the safety precaution or all the safety measures, but the things still can go wrong. There may be still emergency may be happen. What incidents, what type of emergency? There may be fire, bomb threats, spill of hazardous chemicals during the work, release of toxic gases, for example, hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxides, sulfur dioxide, or other gases. Maybe severe weather. The weather may be suddenly changed. There may be suddenly rain, heavy rain, maybe other type of weather changed, multiple casualty during the accident, maybe this can be happen, terrorist or security incident or security threats, this may be happen. So what we will do during that. We need to prepare ourselves before happening this emergency. We need to prepare emergency procedure arrangements, the foreseeable emergency. We need to know that what emergency can be happen during our activities or during our works. We need to identify that emergency. We need to know. And we need to know the alarm raising procedures, that how we will raise the alarm during the emergency and what type of alarm we need for that emergency. For example, in oil and gas, different types of alarm. For hydrogen sulfide, a different alarm system. For the sounds, alarm sounds. For the fire, different alarm sound. For carbon monoxide, different alarm sounds. And for clearance, after the emergency happening, when the emergency clear, what type of alarm or what type of sound we will use. We need to identify it and we need to prepare, because we are a key persons. We are the key person for which we need these things. Then procedure to be followed. The procedure we will make for that emergency, we need to practice and we need to follow that procedures during the emergency. Suitable emergency equipment should be needed for the emergency. Responsible staff, we need to provide and train the responsible staff for that emergency. Dealing with the media, and this in some countries, maybe you need to deal with the media. You need to tell about the emergency to the media, contacting emergency services, emergency numbers. For example, in UAE, 999, So we need to know about these emergency services. So we need to how to contact during the emergency, because we need to tell them where is the emergency happen. We need to properly communicate the type of emergency during calling to these services. The emergency procedures arrangements, the organization needs to arrange communication equipments, landline or mobiles to the workers, to the responsible persons. Contact details, nationals and local numbers, local emergency number of the projects or of the company. And we also know about the national number. For example, 997, 999, 998 for ambulance. Okay, we need to know about this number. And for example, in Pakistan, we need to know 2211. And we need to the other numbers, for example, 15. Okay, responsible individuals with necessary information and training. The individuals, we need to provide responsible individuals for the emergency, because the emergency team that should be responsible and they should be present during the emergency, and they should to know their roles and responsibility. Training and testing, additional training for the nominated individual, the person who will dealing with the emergency, or the person who are the part of the emergency response team, ERT, emergency response team, that should be trained. Their roles in the emergency, they should to know their roles, what the role they will deliver, or what the role they will do during the emergency. And safe handling of any equipments, all the equipment which they are handled during the emergency, they should to know about how they will handle these equipment during the emergency. Emergency procedure should be practiced through drills and exercise. Maybe you people already know about this, because every emergency procedure we need to do the mock drill. We need to do exercise on that, because we need to know all the workers about that emergency, that how they will act in the real emergency. For that we need practices and exercise in our projects or in our company. Then first aid requires appropriate first aid provisions, facilities, and appropriate location where first aid treatments can be given. The location that should be easily accessible to all the workers, and all first aid equipments and all first aid treatment should be available. The facility should be available there. Then equipment suitably stock first aid kits and other equipments that should be available in our first aid room. And personnel, trained staff, the staff should be trained. The first aid personnel should be trained. If we need the nurse, we should to provide. If we need doctor, then we should to provide trained doctor there, because not only MBBS, we need to train them for the on that emergencies, or that different types of emergency that can be happen in future, that can be happen in our projects. We need to prepare them. First aid facilities and equipments, what facilities, how the procedure, that should be centrally located, accessible by emergency services, and that should be clean and adequately heated, ventilated, and light should be available for that emergency area. The lighting system should be good. Hand wash facilities, chair, chemical waste bins should be available in that emergency room or that first aid room. Then what type of equipment we need? First aid kits, eye wash station, emergency showers, blankets, planes, resuscitation equipments, stretchers, wheelchairs, other equipment as required according to the project requirements or according to the area requirements. We will provide these equipments. Okay, because in oil and gas we need other equipments also if we are working in offshore area. So for that we need other type of equipment. So we should to provide according to that, according to the requirements. Then first aid personnel, the basic principle of first aid is to keep the injured person alive until professional medical assistant arrives. The first aid should be able, the first aider, that he will keep the injured persons alive until the professional medical assistant arrive in that area. The 3P we are using, the first aider's duties or responsibility, the preserve the life. The first he should be able to preserve the life of the injured person. Then he should be able to prevent deteriorations, further deteriorations, and he should be able to promote recovery or to do the small or to do the bandages or small treatments and other treat minor ailments that require no further medical help. The first aider should be able to do these cuts or other small the injuries that need small minors, bandages or others treatment. The first aider should be trained on that. Then first aid personnel, the personnel, trained personnel, appointed persons know our basic training. Only for this person we need basic training. Emergency first aiders and first aiders need full emergency first aid at work or first aid training at work. This person should be trained. Then what the coverage will be for the work area or for the site, coverage will depend on the general risk level of the workplace, the hazards present in the workplace, accident history, vulnerable persons, the number of workers, work patterns and shift system, work location, size and spread of the workplace. This is important, okay? In about every scenario or after every scenario, because many scenarios this question, this coverage came in the previous papers. Okay, we will practically use this when we will practice on the real paper. Okay, so now the Zoom time is finishing. Again, I will join the Zoom and you also stay with me, okay? Because less than 1 minute is remaining. So please stay with me, okay?